some reason, at least for me, they made it very concrete that there's going to be an end. And I'm like, it's over for me. If I'm making the video, it's over for me. It's just an interesting thought experiment. I recommend people try it. Okay. Are you afraid of death, by the way?
Yes. It's hard because, like, what if you just die and then you just see nothing forever, you know?
Yeah, the nothingness.
It just fades to blackness and you're just like that for trillions upon trillions to billion squared years, and it's scary. But also, before you're born, you don't remember those X amount of years either, so that gives me a little comfort, but no, it's definitely very scary. Something I'd rather not think about until I'm like 80.
Mr. Beast and Lex, I would like to share something with you now. Here on my phone, something I wrote regarding death and what Mr. Beast just said. I'll read this out loud. Sorry if it keeps switching. What are you? You could say that you are what a brain is doing right now. The sensation of I, or what we call self. If this brain was altered enough, then we could actually alter it to the point that you would no longer exist, because this brain would be doing a completely different I, with completely different behaviors, a different personality, and even different memories. So, a brain was born, and it started doing consciousness. Now here's a short thought experiment that should convey, that should convey what will happen after you cease to exist after death, if we do in fact cease to exist after death. Imagine a universe that's completely devoid of all sentient life. So there isn't any consciousness anywhere. There aren't any brains doing consciousness anywhere. But then, through natural processes, a sentient organism eventually comes to exist. So now, there's a brain, and it's doing consciousness. But now I reveal to you that this brain is actually doing the conscious experience that is you. So what if that brain was never born, but instead some other brain was born, and it started doing consciousness? Would you be in some sort of peaceful oblivion or endless nothingness? No. The only experience there'd be is the one being done by this one and only brain. So even if the brain that was doing you never came to exist, because this other brain was born instead, there'd still be an I experience. But it'd just be a different I experience from the one that would have done the you experience. You'll understand this when you switch out the words I and you for self, because that's what you are, a self. In this thought experiment, no matter which brain was born, there is still self. So self is being done no matter which brain is doing it. So after death, we shouldn't conclude that death will be followed by nothingness or a black void, but instead, if you really will cease to exist, then that end will be followed by consciousness that's being done by one of the living brains that are doing consciousness, in the very same way that your lack of existence was followed by consciousness due to the birth of a brain. So your death, just like before birth was, will also be followed by yet another individual consciousness. That consciousness could be any of the consciousness that's being done by any brain that exists in the universe. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.